Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Jenny here at Lux Life in the Doghouse. Thanks so much for joining me for another video. Today we are going to talk about comfortable heels, and we're going to do a compare and contrast between three different brands. Ally heels, which I have loved for several years now, Antonia Saint, which I ordered several pairs just the other day, and Sarah Flint, which I own three different pairs, and they've been in my closet for the last few years. And I wanted to talk about my thoughts on which company actually fulfills its promise of comfy, pain-free, less painful heels, and which ones don't. And we're going to talk about, I guess, the specs for each of these pumps. So the first brand we're going to talk about is Ally. I'm actually, full disclosure, an ambassador for Ally. There will be a coupon code listed down below. This is not a sponsored video though. I have spent good money in the last several weeks acquiring 3 extra pairs. So I'm just going to go over which ones I own really quickly. This is the Rose Gold 3-inch heel. All their pumps are 3 inches unless you're looking at the kitten heel model. Then what came next in my closet, in my collection, were the leopard pony hair. It's actual pony hair. And this is their bold black heel, also in a 3-inch heel. And then as of last couple of weeks, I acquired these additional 3. This is the Blissful Blush in the pump, Sassy Saffron, and last but not least, what I wore for New Year's Eve, the Silver Glitter, which are just amazing. And I think the bold block heel actually makes this even better. So Ally basically has a patented technology for their insole, and basically they have worked with a foot doctor to design a shoe that is healthy for your feet. And so I'm just going to hold up one of the shoes so that you can see the interior. You can see that this is really, really cushioned in terms of where your arch is. And there is a heel cup as well. And it's very, 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 very squishy. And I don't know if you'll be able to see, but like in the toe section, there's also a lot of cushioning. It comes in 4 different widths. So if you have wide feet, they're accommodating you absolutely 100%. It's also sizes 4 through 12. These are made in China, handcrafted. They're artisans actually, it's kind of like made to order. So you place your order and usually it takes about 3 to 4 weeks for it to be fulfilled, unless your particular size and model is already in stock. Each pair of these are $325. In terms of my Sarah Flint, these are the Perfect Pump in lipstick red, and this is an 85 millimeter, 3.35 inches. So it's a little taller. You can see that this heel is thinner than this heel, which I think makes these a little sleeker. I also really love the Sweetheart cut that gives you some kind of toe cleavage, which I find very attractive. So I have it in the lipstick red, the white calf, as well as the black calf. All of them in 85 because I cannot do 100, which they also have. They also have, I want to say 50. Here is their insole. You can see lots of squish in the arch section. There is padding in the heel, though very different from the Ally, because the Ally has a heel cup. The Ally ones have an indented concave cup for the heel, whereas this Sarah Flint, the padding is basically, I guess, convex. I don't know if that's accurate geometrically. There is, however, no padding in the toe box, which I think is the downfall of Sarah Flint. They claim to have wide toe box, but the reality is that in comparison, you can see that this is a much narrower shoe. Makes for a very sexy, sleek shoe, but it doesn't make it as comfortable as these. So I love my Sarah Flint shoes. They are sexier, I have to say, than my Allies because of the heel shape and because it does narrow your feet. It makes your feet look thinner. But because of the narrowness, I feel like they are way less comfortable. There's also no support down here, right? It's not as squishy. You know, there is the arch support, but that's about it. So Sarah Flint shoes are actually handcrafted in Italy. And so that's a big difference in terms of where they're manufactured. I don't really have a hang up on things made in China. I know some people do. I also know that a lot of people associate luxury goods being made in a European country. So I guess you make the call on how you feel about where they're manufactured and how that makes you judge one brand versus the other. Those are my Sarah Flint shoes, and they are pricey. They're Louboutin pricey, almost anyway. They cost $5.50 a pair. Vast difference in terms of $325, $5.50, right? Comfort wise, these win over the Sarah Flint. Now, the last brand is something that's been kind of like shoved in my face via social media as of recent, and I just couldn't help it. I had to order them, and unfortunately, spoiler alert, I am sending both pairs back. Because of the shoes themselves, but also because of, I guess, a customer service issue. So, Antonia Saint NY was started by the founder of Thinx Underwear, if you guys are familiar with Thinx. And she also worked with a podiatrist, just like the founder of Ally. And so I was really, really curious. And they also, just like Ally, have a patented technology. So I'm going to show it to you. This is the nude. This is a sweetheart model because of that cutout, right? That V cutout. And this is 89 centimeters, 3.5 inches. So of all the heels, these are the tallest. This is in black suede. This is the Victoria, and the Victoria is also 89 milliliters or 3.5 inches. And this is smooth leather. It's very soft, I will say that. Let's take a look inside with their patented technology. They actually do sell the insert, FYI, if you're interested. Their advice is to order your shoes in different brands a size up so that this insert can actually fit into the shoe, which I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like when I wear shoes that are physically bigger than what I'm used to, I look like I'm wearing clown shoes. And that is actually one of my main complaints about the Antonia Saint. They have a very serious padded structure in here. What do they say? So it's a top cushion. So top cushion means cushion over here so that you don't hurt your toes. There's also side cushion. So you see all those ridges? That's side cushioning for your foot. Then there's back cushion so that you don't get the rubbing that basically causes your heel to bleed. And then there is a heel cup, right? So that's concave, just like the Ally. This goes a little deeper, I think. And then, of course, like, look at the toe box. That is some serious stuff. The other thing that they do is they use ballistic nylon for the heel itself so that when you step in a crack, you don't get the nicks that you often get on a high heel when you get your heel caught. So why am I sending these back? I'm going to insert photos, but here's the thing. Because of the way they've padded the shoe, which does make for a comfortable shoe, comparatively speaking, these two are really basically almost the same in terms of comfort, and that says a lot because these are really comfortable. However, remember my clown shoes comment? I mean, look at how bulked up this looks compared to this. And when you wear these, because of that top cushion, you see a gap. There's like gaping, gaping here. And it doesn't look attractive. It almost looks like you're wearing a platform heel, right? Like that bulkiness of a platform heel because of all the stuff that's already in the shoe. So for that reason, I'm sending it back. I do love the heel height. And that heel height is actually quite manageable with the cushioning that exists in the shoe. Sadly though, I'm sending them back not only because I'm not a huge fan of this ballistic nylon, like that change in color kind of bugs me. I don't love the gaping that I get when I put my foot in, and because there's all that cushion on top, it just doesn't look as smooth. And in terms of like narrowness in shoe toe box, it just makes you look a little bit like you're wearing clown shoes. A little bit. Not a whole lot, just a little. And if you're talking about comparing what looks sleeker, look at that difference. I just don't know if that's attractive. That being said, if comfort is your ultimate goal, you're looking to get a shoe that's going to be really, really comfy to walk in, and you need to be on your feet all day, and you just need it to wear well, and you're willing to sacrifice some aesthetics, then I'm gonna say this is a front runner. Now, the other reason why I'm sending these back, aside from fit, is well, one pair came damaged. It came nicked, and that is because their customer service, their warehouse, which is in Brooklyn, gave me a pair with a damaged box, and I'm going to assume that the heel was sitting in there and whatever cut through it nicked the shoe. Then the other pair, the black pair, I felt like, did somebody return these after they dirtied the box? And it almost seems like I got sent cast-offs, like they just tried to get away with sending me shoes that were less than, pristine. To their credit, I did send them an email, and they were very responsive, and they wanted photos right away because they wanted to address the issue with the warehouse. In terms of where these are made, they are made in Spain, but they do not talk about whether or not these are handcrafted, at least not on the parts of the website that I was looking at. So if you know, let me know. Some of the criteria that I was judging these shoes by were comfort, did they look sleek, the heel height, as well as overall quality. So I'm going to say that for comfort, third in line, Sarah Flint. I hate to say it. It's just not as comfortable. But if I had to choose in terms of comfort between Antonia Saint and Ally, I'm choosing Antonia Saint as number 2. Ally wins in terms of comfort, but a very close second for Antonia Saint. Now, I think I've already talked about this extensively in terms of which shoe looks sleeker, and I'm going to say that Sarah Flint is the sleekest looking one. Second place, I'm going to say Ally, because it still looks like a very feminine cut, and it is still narrow enough that your foot looks dainty. And then, of course, third, I talked about how wide this is. And, of course, it does a lot for comfort, right, when you have such a wide toe box. But it just looks chunky on the foot. And it's not a good look, I think, for a lot of people. So this loses out. In terms of height, my preference is for a taller shoe. And of course, if it's a taller shoe that I can walk comfortably in, even better. Antonia Saint has the 89, which looks fabulous on me. Second place is the 85 milliliter Sarah Flint. Now, it does come in 100 if you're into that. I cannot walk in 100. So if this came in an 89 with a squishier, padding for the toe box, I would be much happier, because then that means I could walk with a higher heel while taking pressure off the front of my foot. Sadly, last place, though this still looks good on my foot, it's a 3-inch heel, and I wish it were taller. What can I say, right? I'm a short girl. I'm a hair under 5'2". So the last thing I judged the shoes by were overall quality, and Ally and Sarah Flint tied for that category. What does that mean? That means that when I got them out of the box and I looked at them, I felt like I was handling a quality item. There were no lumps and bumps. The stitching was great. It just felt like somebody paid attention and wasn't sloppy about the manufacturing. I unfortunately cannot say that the same thing about Antonia Saint. And it's not because I got damaged goods. It's because I don't know if any of this will show up. It's like here. You can see that ridge, that the way the light is reflecting, that's a lump. That's a lump because I don't know if it's because of their padding technology. It's just so bulky. It feels like it just wasn't, that ridge is not meant to be there, and it's just not smooth. What else? It's like, you look at that, right? It just doesn't look like it was smoothly put together. So overall, not too thrilled. In terms of cost, that was actually a really important category that, I did throw out the prices for all of them, but obviously Sarah Flint, $550, $395 for Ally for a pair. Antonia Saint came in at the lowest for a pair. It's $198. So if you're looking for a cost-effective, comfortable shoe that's going to last you a day, probably, I would go with these. If you are looking for variety, for ultimate comfort, for quality, with a mid-range price in terms of, I guess if you're looking at the spectrum of like luxury shoe prices, I would go with Ally. If you're willing to sacrifice a little bit of comfort for sleekness, for sex appeal, for height, and you are willing to spend the big bucks, my vote is for Sarah Flint. So that's it. I know that this was a lengthy video. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, write them down below. That is all for today. I hope that this was informative, and I will see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.